Oh.
Everyone online, just wanted to give you a heads up. We're going to start just a couple of minutes late, just trying to get last minute things organized. So patient with us.
Did you see what Martin passed out? Is that the first one? There's order to them. Okay, they're good. Are they gonna move from? He doesn't just continue or discontinue. After I thought about it, I think continue. So just continue. So it happened maybe today and then. I think so. Okay. I'm open. Makes sense.
He's good. Yeah, it's 2022. Everything's going wrong. Am I right about everybody? And I know so they just
Cute.
before they left. She got before they left, she got 2 minutes to run and let the flow. The baby went to touch Quentin. And then he looked at her face.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. How are you? I'd be like an old school teacher. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Here we go. Get everybody's attention. Wonderful. Thank you.
Good morning, teacher.
Professor, please, professor. No, that's all right. That's right. They are. What did I get from when I was in Staten Island? I'd get pasta. It was very good. So I'd like to call this meeting of the Executive Committee on Wednesday, October 5th, 2022 to order. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Bates. Berman,
Berman here.
Ford,
Board president.
Froz,
Roz here.
Gums, Kenyon,
Here.
Caius,
Caius present.
Martin,
Martin present.
Molina,
Molina present.
Sanchez,
Sanchez present.
Strathman,
Strathman here.
Sturgis, Tepe,
Happy here.
Davis,
Davis here.
Shepro,
Shepro here.
Hirag.
Here.
Okay.
Oh, thank you very much. Who would like to lead the pledge today? Ms. Wegman. You're in the back. Why don't you lead it for us? Oh, good.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Good morning. Morning. Ms. Bates.
Mr. Kenyon.
May I please have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of September 7th, 2022?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Berman. Any changes or additions to these? None, and none online. Okay, very good. Clerk, please call the roll.
Bates,
Yes.
Berman,
Yes.
Ford,
Board, yes.
Froz,
Roz, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes, I'm here, sorry.
Oh, welcome, Scums.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Yes.
Martin,
Martin present.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Sturgis,
Deppie, yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Shetbro,
Shepro, yes.
Kira.
Yes. Excellent. Is there any public comment? I'm not aware of any. Any online? All right. Mr. Onsick, please. The monthly financials.
Good morning, everyone. I don't have anything new to report to you other than to provide the answer to a question that was asked at Finance Committee last week. And then it was brought up again yesterday. And that is, what is the total amount of our wages and salaries for union employees? And the total would be almost $33 million. And the cost, if you include about 3% increase, if you include the FICA, IMRF, and SLEP, would be $1,165,000. So, and the cost of each incremental, like single percentage increase of a union employee would, total union employees would be 388,000. So it's very similar to what it was for the non-union. I think the total is only about $90,000 more than it was for non-union. So I think everyone's guess to say that it was roughly 50-50 was pretty accurate. So that's all I had for you. I can answer any questions.
Are there any questions for Mr. Onsick?
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you. Ms. Mann?
Good morning, everyone. We continue to push out Kane County Connects on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Some of the highlights, an article by Brenda Bushbacher in my office on the Kane County Diagnostic Center. We also highlighted the JJC's impressive inspection report. We highlighted the Division of Transportation's walking and bicycle trail survey. The treasurer's notice on delinquent taxes. Some unique stuff we did was the dig for glacial remains. It was up on the east side of Geneva. We've helped the Regional Office of Education promote their annual student photo contest, the health department's Health Count Symposium, and their walk, bike, roll to work, which is on October 12th. We highlighted animal control's participation in the largest dog wedding. Fortunately, we didn't break a world record, but we did raise a lot of money for dogs who will be given to veterans suffering from PTSD. We did highlight the grant that Kane County received to help guide long-term economic development. We're highlighting the last recycling event, which is being held this Saturday. We're also been keeping people up to date on how they can take advantage of that state property tax rebate. There's been a couple of memos from the state that we've put into Kane County Connects that have gotten a lot of attention from our subscribers. We also did a couple of fun things. Recently, we compiled a list of all the pumpkin farms and pumpkin patches in Kane County where you can buy a pumpkin. We also highlighted haunted houses that are in our area. So if people want to take advantage of that, not my thing, but, and then upcoming Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which is this month. And we have a list compiled that will be going out in our newsletter tomorrow about some local resources for women in the area. So we've really taken advantage of a lot of things in the county, making sure people understand what's going on around them. And again, had some fun things. I think we're going to include the fact that our candy survey done by, I can't remember who, says that the favorite candy for Halloween in Illinois is Sour Patch Kids, which again, I disagree with. But in any case, we continue to push out stuff, stories, press releases on social media. We're growing our Instagram account a lot faster now than our Facebook account, which is interesting. So that seems to tend to trend towards a younger audience, which is really encouraging for us. So with that, I'll take any questions.
Julie, perhaps you may want to consider, since the board, as we go through our decision-making and our successes, that you may want to highlight some of the good work that the county board is doing as well in publications. Past this, have initiatives for both public health and environment, et cetera. So that may be helpful so that people are learning very much about what the county is all about. But it would be nice to kind of figure out what the county actually does and some of the resolutions we passed and the impact, the positive impact that those are having on the county.
Well taken. I would suggest that anyone who would like to look at, these are just a few highlights that we had in the last month. If you would like to look at all the stories we've done, that do include the resolutions and the approval of county board, of the county board. You go to CaneCountyConnects.com and look at our archived articles, and you can see all of the things that we've been highlighting that the county board has done too, but it's definitely a focus for us, and I appreciate you bringing that to my attention. Absolutely.
And then could you speak a little bit about the interview that I did with Mark Armstrong?
Sure. Coffee with the Chairwoman. With Mark Armstrong, we talked about property taxes. It was a wonderfully done interview with Madam Chair and Mark, who kind of broke it down into layman's terms as to how your county or your property tax bill comes about, where it goes, where the money goes, and how you're assessed and how you can take advantage of exemptions that you're entitled to. That will be coming up in the Kane County Connects newsletter next Tuesday. The video is being processed, and it will be also pushed out on our homepage and on social media.
I did the process is I go and we do the interview and then I hand it off and magic happens at Julie's office. Mark was, as usual, incredible, brilliant man, well-spoken, very clear. And I think it'll be helpful as we start and continue that conversation and awareness of what makes up our property tax bill. So that can be, we'll see how it goes and how you all like it. And that may be a resource that is used continually past just this time that we have it.
And it was information, a lot of information that was broken down really into terms that people could understand and follow. And it was a very nicely done interview.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
Did he
for
use
Julie?
the small village and make the pie for the whole village example? That's a good one. I missed that.
That'll be the reprieve.
All right.
Side B. Okay, thank you very much. Is there any old business?
Perhaps, Shepro?
Yes, Mr. Shepro.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly where the right point is to talk about this, but I spoke with Mr. Tepe yesterday. We thought that perhaps a short update on the appointment of the election judges and what happened at the confirmation hearing would be in order at some point. Could do it now. We could do it under committee reports at the end. I would defer to Madam Chair and Mr. Tepe about that. It would be just a very brief update for the board that we thought would be appropriate to let them know what happened at the court hearing.
I believe this is appropriate for old business. Mr. Tepe.
No, that's fine. I asked Mr. Shepro, who has more detailed knowledge of what transpired, to give the report.
If you have, please go ahead.
Thank you.
Right ahead.
As you may recall, colleagues, at the September board meeting, we approved the appointment of election judges. It ran to almost 900 individuals. The law requires that then be posted publicly, filed with the court, and the court's approval sought to confirm or not confirm all or any of the judges. There was an objection filed by the Republican Party to 26 individuals, not based upon their qualifications to be judges, but questioning their affiliation with the Democrat Party. And the matter was heard. Everything I'm telling you is publicly occurred at the hearing, so there's no real need for a closed session. And basically, our state's attorney researched the basis for the objection, and it was determined that, in fact, those individuals were carried over in large part from the old election commission. And the upshot was that the 26 individuals were not confirmed by Judge Bush. That does not mean that they could not later be appointed to be election judges on behalf of the other political party. But there was agreement that they did not meet the qualifications for the party label under which they were appointed. The other 870 odd judges were all confirmed. And I think the entire proceeding took a very brief amount of time. Contrary to what some people had been saying, this was not a lawsuit against Mr. Cunningham. It was merely a review under a statutory procedure to approve the judges. I understand from Mr. Cunningham's office that the process of filling judges will continue because there is still a need for judges of both political parties to serve on election day. And I don't know if Mr. Tepe has anything he would like to add or correct from that. At this point, that the proceeding is over, and the effect of the court's order is that any judges who haven't been trained will now be referred for training for election day, which of course the voting has been underway in person since last week.
September 29th. Yes, Mr. Tepe. Thank you, Mr. Shepherd.
And thanks, Mr. Shepro, for doing that. The only other thing is they do need more election judges, so don't hesitate to apply.
Yes, we do need, it's, as I've said before, it's God's work.
Especially bilingual judges.
All right, if there's no other old business, I believe we have some new business. And these items were not brought through the process of going through committee, so they are on for new business. And I will let Mr. Van Kerkhoff come and talk about the economic partnership.
Yeah, good morning. Mark Van Kerkhoff, Kane County Development Department. Blair, if you could put up the first item. Good segue from Kane County Connects. So you may have seen this story in Kane County Connects, but on September 23rd, Madam Chairman joined other county regional leaders to meet and to discuss and announce the region's intent to enter into a Greater Chicagoland Economic Partnership. This effort has been in the works since really COVID, as a way of working as a region to solidify a great recovery. We worked with the Brookings Institute on what the best model for that to be, and this was what was worked at. A result of this meeting was for the county leaders to agree to take back to their county boards for resolutions supporting participation in the partnership, both in concept and moving towards some formal agreements, but also financially. World Business Chicago has issued an opinion on that these expenses are ARPA eligible. We took that to Peter Phillips and our ARPA team, our state's attorney and EY, and they concurred that probably most of it is ARPA eligible. So this was discussed at the ARPA committee last week without the resolution that's before you. This resolution both gives support, county board support to participation, and then identifies actually two funding sources for the financial support. Our primary one would be ARPA for all the activities that are deemed by our consultants and state's attorney to be ARPA eligible. And the backup funding source would be our Economic Development Fund 400, which is from the Riverboat, which is economic development is eligible for that. This will help our own effort to launch our own countywide economic development organization. Blair, if you could put up the next item. So other counties that have a economic development organization, public-private partnership for doing economic development, they fund some of their expenses are for things that are going to be now covered by more efficiently by working as a region, that being research and asset mapping for the region, responses to RFI for companies looking to come to Illinois or the region, global engagement. Chicago is a global city and has a global presence, so we'd be part of that global outreach. And then particularly looking at regional assets for working with our entrepreneurs and innovators, something we can do more effectively region-wide. So at the end of the day, when we do launch our own economic development organization for Kane County, we would have to pay for these one way or the other. So in this way, it'd be done through the region and be more effective. And at the end of the day, reduce the overall cost for our own economic development organization. So I know that was a lot, so I'm happy to answer any questions.
Does everybody understand what we're about, hopefully ready to launch? I think it's a phenomenal opportunity for us. At the conversation, there are many questions about, will this be Chicago-centric, Cook County-centric, or will it truly be within the region where all participating counties will benefit from this? And we'll be watching them carefully from Kane County side, because we want to make sure that we have equity with this, but they have promised that this is going to be reflective of our needs and how we can partner with our fellow counties to make sure that we have businesses come here, take a look at what our opportunities are, which are unique from Cook County and unique from DuPage County. So we're very hopeful and excited about this as we begin to also launch our own Economic Development Council.
I move for approval.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bates, second.
Thank you. Are there any other questions on this?
Doesn't the agenda say this is for discussion only?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Discussion only items. So should we, can
I
we
have a
move-
suggestion, however, Madam Chair, Shepro.
Yes, please, Mr. Shepro.
I think this may come up later in the meeting. There is a special finance committee for Friday at 2:30. And there was discussion yesterday about trying to get that to an executive committee meeting. And I would like to move that this resolution and others that will come up be continued to either a continuation of this meeting or a special meeting of the executive committee to be called immediately following the special finance committee on Friday.
Thank you for that suggestion. That sounds wise. I'd like to move it, if we're meeting appropriately, why don't we go through finance and add that quickly, as well as perhaps the next item, and
Second, Mr. Shepherd's
Mhm.
motion.
and then move it through finance, then to exec, so we follow proper protocol. Sound
Yes,
good?
I will take.
Okay, thank you for that suggestion. So we have a motion to amend, and you have that?
Could you repeat the amendment, please?
That's right.
I will accept that as a friendly amendment.
The friendly amendment.
So the amendment is to move this resolution to a continued or special,
We're going to have a special,
or move this to the special finance committee meeting on October 7th.
correct, correct.
Does it really need,
No, not quite.
does it even need to have a motion?
And-
We just
We're just going to, yes,
move it over.
we're just going to move it forward.
Let me suggest, and I was going to do this at the end, but I've spoken to everybody in the room about the sense, at least in my mind, of setting a special meeting of this group, or setting this group's meeting in review of the budget to be next Friday, since after the finance committee meeting, because there's only one person. It's a 90% overlap of people. So the only one that's not is Bill Leonard, who is on the
So if I may, I want exactly what you're saying, but we're under new business. So let's finish this and
Well,
then we can move it over.
then the answer is we're not continuing this to the finance committee. We're continuing it to the next scheduled
Finance and-
meeting of the executive committee.
So it'll go finance and then to exec. Because
No.
they're both,
Just
No,
exactly.
this matter is before executive now.
so it should
We're
go,
going to continue it to the next
that's fine. That's fine.
meeting of the
Correct.
executive committee, not
Okay.
finance.
That'd be perfect. That'd be perfect. Thank you. And then let's discuss this opportunity. We're gonna have to, after we get this thing through. So it's gonna be moved to exec. The next
Right.
meeting of our exec.
And that, I believe, was the motion made by me and seconded by Mr. Davis.
That's correct. That's correct.
Just a question. So is this because we didn't have public notice in time that we have to postpone it to the
Correct.
next?
Well, it didn't go through, it happened quickly,
Yes,
so wasn't able to go through finance before.
thank you.
And I'm going to suggest that that apply to the next item as well for the emergency purchase.
Absolutely. So let's discuss it and then we can vote on it appropriately at the next meeting that we have of exec. Okay, so do you want to read what we've all amended? Because it's very clear in our heads, but probably confusing in language.
Yes. Okay, so we are moving both resolutions,
No, just
just the one for right
just
now.
one. We have to
Okay.
do this.
We're moving the first resolution to the next,
Authorizing the Kane County's participation in the Greater Chicagoland Economic Partnership.
to the next special finance or special exec committee. I am sorry.
Which will be when? And not even a special exec, just our next exec.
Special exec.
And when will that take place?
Hold on a second with that.
Okay, hold that thought.
It's coming.
Okay.
So let's take care of the next resolution regarding, we have to take a vote on that. My apologies.
Bates,
Yes.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Frost,
yes.
Gums,
Comes, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surges, Pepe,
Yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Shepro,
Shepro, yes.
Kirag.
Yes. Okay, next resolution. Is the coroner here? A representative from his office? Regarding this truck? No, who'd like to move this forward?
I'll make a motion to move it forward to
Oh,
the.
Mr. Frost has already got his hand up, Mr.
Oh,
Shepherd.
okay.
So,
Is a motion to move it to the
well, we have,
finance?
yes, but we have to get it on. We have to talk about it just for a second before we move it. So we need a second.
Madam Chair, I can second. This is Molina.
Oh, well, Mr. Caius already seconded, but thank you, Ms. Molina.
That's fine. I do have a question regarding this resolution.
Oh, yes,
Just
please.
a clarification. The summary indicates that this is being, that a 2022 GMC is being purchased, but the affidavit indicates it's a 2023. So if we can clarify what year of truck was purchased, and then make sure it just makes sense on both the resolution and the affidavit.
Shepro comment. I think it may have to do with the fact that because it's so hard to get vehicles that by the time there's a vehicle procured, it's going to be a 2023 delivery.
Oh, no, I believe it's online. It's here. And to her point, I
Oh,
would agree. Can we pass this through with that clarification because we're going to be rehearing it, Ms. Molina? And then we can ask for the coroner's clarification if it's a current 22 model or I know it's sitting there, or if it's a 23.
Yes, that would be my request. I know he signed the affidavit in August. So I know it's something that he wants to get completed. I just want to make sure that the resolution indicates what year a car was being purchased.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It does say 23 and purchasing it now. Okay. All right.
Now, question, Shepro, does this have to go to the special finance meeting and then to exec, or since it was already on our agenda, would this be treated the same way as the previous resolution?
I would suggest we're going to move it just forward to exec unless Mr. Berman feels otherwise.
That's fine.
Okay, so right to exec.
Good.
So we have a motion and a second. Do I have a friendly motion to move this to exec? Mr. Paz?
Yes, I recommend we move it to the special executive meeting on Friday.
And is there a second for that?
Second, Berman.
Okay, Mr. Berman? Okay, so do you want to read that over for us and then we can vote on it? And with the change, we have to clarify whether it's a 22 truck or a 23 truck.
Okay, so it is motioned to approve the emergency purchase affidavit for coroner vehicle at the next special executive committee.
Correct.
Move it, not to approve it.
And call the roll.
Correction, it's a motion to move it, not to approve it.
Motion to move it.
Yes.
Yes.
Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Ford,
Ford, yes.
Frost,
Yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Rathman, yes.
Surges,
Tepe, yes.
Davist,
Davis, yes.
Shepro,
Shepro, yes.
Huron.
Yes. All right, I'd like to recognize Mr. Martin now, and he has a suggestion for us out of new business.
The fact is that this committee has a 90% overlap with the finance committee. And we have a special meeting scheduled for a week from this coming Thursday to review and recommend approval of the draft budget. And the same group of people are meeting this Friday with the finance committee. So my suggestion, actually, Mr. Shepro's suggestion, but my suggestion as we speak is that we, at the end of this meeting, adjourn it to Friday at 3:30, which would be immediately following the finance committee meeting. And that we discuss at that Friday meeting, the two deferred matters that are on here today, as well as our review of the budget. The only person that is not present on this committee that would be there Friday at the finance committee is Mr. Leonard, and I have texted Mr. Leonard, and he's in accordance and supportive of
Not
the.
on the finance committee.
Well, no, I'm saying that they. Well, are you? I'm sorry. Okay.
So,
The point is, we got a big bunch of overlap, and it seemed far more efficient to do the meetings back to back without getting too scientific about it. So if you're requesting a motion at this point in time, then I would move that we set that at the end of this meeting that we adjourn to Friday at 3:30, immediately following the finance committee meeting for review of the budget and such other matters that are properly brought before that body
Madam Chair,
Yes.
are we
Ms.
talking
Strathman.
this week, Friday, or next week?
this week, Friday.
Friday.
Oh, okay. I
Friday.
just needed that
Could
clarification.
It will
everybody
be Friday,
please-
Friday, the 7th, is it 7th?
7th.
Okay.
Could
Friday,
everybody
the 7th.
check their schedules right now to make sure that your calendars, to make sure that you are available?
Madam Chair, what time is the earlier meeting?
2:30 is the early, this would be at 3:30. We need a time.
Or I would say. as
Could
soon
we
as-
make it 3?
That's where I'm going.
Okay, hold on a second.
You
No,
amend your motion to make
no,
it 3?
We cannot
Okay,
make it, at no, we cannot make it at 3, Mr. Tepe, because it should be written as soon as someone can help me with the. exact-
Well, it could be
but the
3
finance-
o'clock.
The finance committee meeting, as soon as the finance committee
Immediately
meeting
following.
is over.
Well, we
It could
do
be 3 o'clock or immediately following the
Thank you.
conclusion of the
whichever is
finance.
later,
meeting.
whichever is later.
Yes.
I will amend my motion then just to continue it to 3 o'clock or as soon thereafter as the finance committee meeting.
Correct. So I
Please.
would suggest that everyone arrives here at 2:30.
Are you in charge? We gotta be at 2:30. That'll be fine.
2:30 for
Finance.
finance,
Got it.
because that meeting may move quickly or not.
Working on a Friday too. This is good.
Yeah,
Gotta earn your
making you
salary.
earn your keep, sir.
Brennan.
All right, do we have agreement with this? So do we have do we need a motion or do
I
we?
moved it.
Okay.
And I consider what I did to be a motion, but we would need that as a second. If
Mr. Surges seconds. Is there any discussion on this? Okay, before we take the vote, I would make sure that all of our finance committee meeting, finance members, as well as our executive members, take a good look at the budget proposal. So you have plenty of time to consider it, do your homework, and come down with any written questions that you may have. If there's questions in advance that you would like Mr. Onsick to respond to, that way he would be prepared for that. And I would suggest to give this man the opportunity to be thoughtful with it, not at the very last minute. 24 hours is respectable, so that he can respond to those appropriately. And if there's any other concerns, that you bring those forward as quickly as you can, so we can have thoughtful answers to those questions. Because we're doing it quickly now.
Here, here.
So I have a motion and a second, and with no other discussion, clerk, could you please call the roll?
Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Ford,
Ford, yes.
Froz,
Raz, yes.
Gums,
Grubs, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surges, Tepe,
Tepe, yes.
Davis,
Yeah, it was yes.
Shepro,
Shepro, yes.
Keurig.
Yes. Okay, very good. All righty. Page. All right, we're on to our agenda, and we'll just be taking care of our normal business. Mr. Sanchez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I apologize for not being there in person. I had intended to, but the day had other plans. So I'm still here, and I would like to make a motion and ask for a second to move items 1 through 6, unless there are any that anyone would wish to remove for discussion.
Kenyon would like to second that.
Okay, so we have 6 resolutions. The first one being the Baker Tilly invoice, and it just approves the work that Baker Tilly did in their annual year-end audit that was in relation to the American Rescue Plan. The second one, the Public Defender's Office equipment, it's one of our department requests. And due to COVID, more people are working remotely, and this is an office equipment update. We have the next one is the program manager, the ITD expense. Mr. Phillips, our program manager, needed a monitor, a large screen monitor for video conferencing and other work. So that's that invoice, the submittable invoice. That is the platform we use for our community support grant program, and we're just renewing the license. Finally, our last resolution is authorizing a consultant for going after other COVID relief funds, primarily FEMA, but any others that we identify out there from federal sources. We are suggesting that we use the firm that we already use, Ernst & Young, for American Rescue Plan work. And those are the 6 resolutions. I'll take any questions on any of those if anyone has any. And that's it.
That's it.
I don't know, web-based. Did we do number 5 for web-based portal?
Yes, that's the submittable invoice.
There it is, submittable holdings. You see it?
Yeah, for web-based grant management, portal hosting services.
All right, any questions on any of this? Okay, hearing none. Clerk, please call the roll.
Bates,
Yes.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Ford,
Ford, yes.
Froz,
Raz, yes.
Gums,
Grubs, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Yes.
Martin, Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Yes.
Surges, Tepe,
Deputy, yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Shepro,
Shepro, yes.
Pirog.
Yes.
Passes.
Mr. Martin, you're next. He's coming. The man is loaded up with coffee now, watch out.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Literally, you're next.
The lawyer.
Excuse me.
Take a sip of that coffee.
The Development Committee has one matter before you today, which is the amendment of our zoning ordinance to accommodate and support the sale of agricultural commodities within the county, make things more flexible and make it more workable. This has been floating around for a while. If there's any questions, I know Mr. Van Kerkhoff is here to address them with the
Had no
specificity, but
second that.
I'll move it.
I want to second that.
Perfect. Well, let him move it and you can second it. Yes, he moved it.
I moved it. Mr. Kenyon seconded.
So can we have a little explanation about this and why the importance of this, please?
Sure, absolutely. Number of years ago, the Kane County Board added the Growing for Kane Amendment as a policy statement for supporting local food production. Our staff team has been working on implementing grants and working with our partners such as the Kane County Farm Bureau to implement that. And what we found is what we were doing on our planning and grant support efforts was bumping up against the regulations that the county board has on the books in the zoning ordinance for what local food growers need to go through to have a farm stand or limitations on number of products. So our asked one of our planning team, Tony Ferrugia, to research for some of the best models and ways that we could improve that. We met with our zoning team, we met with the Farm Bureau, had discussions just to find out what would make things easier for our local growers. That was sort of one bucket of changes. The other is in our area of agritainment, which we have a number of farms and sites that are doing a spectacular job of developing orchards and local food programs, but they also open their farms up, which is also a huge benefit for education, for students, for families, and that's known nationally sort of as agritainment. This also just better defines that. And we have two categories: intensive agritainment, which would be a operation like Gobert's or Kuipers, which would need a special zoning. And then we have a more limited forms of agritainment where a small farm might just have a small corn maze or something that they open up in the fall that would be permitted without going through a exorbitant special use process. So we think that we've gotten good feedback on this, and it brings our zoning ordinance up to date with what's happening in local food production and agritainment.
Who made up that word?
Agritainment.
Agritainment? I don't know. I did not.
Really bad.
It's hysterical.
It's a strange word.
It's a agritainment.
Or agritourism. That's a better word.
I thought when you were talking about this, how entertaining it was when I went to a local farm and they had all the baby goats, and I sat down on some haystacks and had the baby goats, got to pet a baby goat, got to play with the baby goat, and it was a lot of fun. So whether that was agritainment or I'm not sure what it was, but it was solidly good.
I like agritainment. I think that's a great word.
So if
Just a quick, Mark, is it an offshoot from this area that is going to possibly deal with the Airbnb question that's brewing around the White House? Or is that a totally separate?
That's a totally separate
Okay. We'll talk
separate
later
issue,
then.
but it
That's
but
fine.
it does have in provisions for farm-based venues that might have weddings or events as part of their farm operation. But
I'll
the
talk to
White
you about
House
the
is
other one.
not a
That's fine.
farm, so different issue.
Okay. All right, you were getting me. I was separate issue totally. I look forward to hearing about that one. All right, are there any other questions on this? Okay, clerk, please call the roll.
Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Ford,
Ford, yes.
Frost,
Yes.
Gums, Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes, and I apologize for my lack of composure in making this presentation.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, very much yes.
Strathman,
Absolutely, yes.
Tepe,
Happy yes.
Davist,
Davis, yes.
Shepro,
Agri-enthusiastically, yes.
Kirog.
A little bit.
Enthusiasm.
Let's go visit those goats.
That's a good one.
Yes, sir, Mr. Sturgis.
Madam Chair Surges, just before Mark leaves the room, in case you don't stay for the whole meeting. So many times we try and, respond to a request without it. And it opens another can of worms from another perspective. And Mark and his department have been wonderful in a couple of noise ordinances that we're trying to update, that just as you address one concern from one resident, it seems to open another concern in another avenue. And Mark and Keith have just done such an outstanding job of disarming the fears and asking for some time to just put that together. And Mark, I just wanted to say thank you for that.
Mhm. Yeah, I know what issue you are referencing, and it is a sensitive issue that really needs to be addressed carefully and thoroughly. All right, Ms. Bates.
Energy and environmental, amending the Kane County Code, Chapter 23, wells and water supply. I would move and ask for a second.
Nice move, or second.
All right, any discussion on this? Yes, sir.
Could you explain the intent here?
Is this?
There's
There's Ms. Wallner,
only-
the water lady.
water engineer.
Thank you. This goes back to the history of Campton Township, when Fox Mill was originally created and they had some issues with wells that went dry. We did a study with Illinois State Water Survey, a 3-year study on individual wells in that township. And the direction to kind of go to the deeper aquifer ended up connecting some of the shallower units to that deeper aquifer. And so what's happened over time is that we have changing water quality in the deeper units as a result of being connected to those shallow units. And so there potentially is an issue with chlorides that we see in the road salts affecting our deeper aquifers in that area. And then also with the heads in the aquifers, lowering some of those heads. And so what we'd like to try to do is to preserve as much of an area in Campton Township where we keep those aquifers separated, so we can prevent that contamination from going down to our deeper units. And so what this ordinance does, it amends our county code. So if somebody is drilling a well in Campton Township, that those units are kept separate.
Thank you.
Is that going to have an impact on other areas of the county as well? Will this necessarily be replicated?
No, we do not have this issue anywhere else in the county, and it will not have an impact on other areas. Because it is so localized in Campton Township, it would take many, many, many years for this issue to start occurring in other areas. And so prevention is the best measure we can take right now to try to eliminate as many of those connections as possible.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're speaking of private wells.
Correct. The public wells in Campton Township, mainly Wasco Sanitary District, were correctly constructed. So it is cased through those upper units, and they're only open to the lower units. It's the residential wells that have caused this issue.
Any other questions on this matter? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Ford, Frost,
Yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Yes.
Sturgis, Tepe,
Pepe, yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Shepro,
Shepro, yes.
Huron.
Yes. Mr. Berman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have 25 items finance today. I would move that we approve 25 unless someone would like to separate one or more from that list. And my motion is to approve the 1 through 25 on the finance.
I would.
Sanchez, second.
I'm. Sir,
If you're in the house.
you're in the house. You're in the house, you get.
Getting in
first
by a
dibs.
nose.
I will go through and read each one. And if you do have questions. Item 1, authorizing the budget adjustment on motor fuel tax debt service fund number 620 and motor fuel tax fund number 302, $302,699. Item 2, authorizing a budget adjustment to the transit sales tax debt service fund number 621 and transportation sales tax fund number 305, $174,715. Item 3, approving fiscal year 22 budget adjustment for correction of Long Meadow debt service accounting to the tune of $963,995. Item 4, authorizing creation of Sheriff's Vehicle and Equipment Fund 128 and related fiscal year 22 budget adjustment of $715,920. Item 5, authorizing rollover of funds and amending 2022 fiscal year budget, the circuit clerk's office, $28,824. Item 6, authorizing acceptance of grant from the Children's Advocacy Centers in Illinois by King County State's Attorney's Office Child Advocacy Center and authorizing corresponding budget adjustment of $54,519. Item 7, authorizing carryover fiscal year 22 of unspent fiscal year 21 budget for Adult Justice Center and Just Judicial Center camera system. $4,377,309. Item 8, authorizing a contract with WellPath for detainee medical services, $4,082,570. Item 9, authorizing a contract for food, laundry, and commissary service at the Kane County Adult Justice Center for $1,014,977.40. Item 10, authorizing Voya Incorporated as Kane County's 457B Deferred Compensation Plan Record Keeper. Item 11, authorizing expenditure of funds for multifunction copier devices and service solutions and print goods and service for $150,000. Item 12, authorizing expenditure of funds for online marketing, maintenance, repair and operations, MRO, supplies and equipment for $200,000. Item 13, authorizing expenditure of funds for network storage and services, $820,000. Item 14, authorizing expenditure of funds for copiers, printers, and related services, $150,000. Item 15. Item 15. Authorizing expenditure of funds for copiers and printers and managed print solutions and related services for $150,000. Item 16, contract or authorizing a contract extension for the King County Electrical Services, and that extension is for $116,071.80. Item 17, authorizing capital projects from the capital fund of $6,506,976. Item 18, authorizing the purchase of gasoline and diesel fuel for Division of Transportation, Sheriff's Office, Building Management, and other intergovernmental agencies, bid number 22-045 for $563,000. Item 19, authorizing to enter into a contract extension for audit services of $171,900. Item 20, authorizing purchase of COVID-19 testing kits, $375,846. Item 21, of approving an intergovernmental agreement from curbside collection of waste, recycling, and organics in unincorporated Blackberry Township for $16,000. Item 22, approving a contract with Illinois Indiana Sea Grant for the Kane County Water Conservation Education Program, $265,000. Item 23, approval of the amount of bond for the county clerk. It's the amount of bond that they can go ahead, 50,000. Item 24, approval of the amount of bond for the county treasurer and county collector, $150,000 for each of them. And item 25, approving our August 2022 claims paid, $12,735,770.10. Any questions on any?
I just have one suggestion that regarding number 18, and that's having to deal with the fuel costs, which is over $500,000. Good grief. Yeah, good grief. Let's get those electric cars or those hybrid cars as we replace them as quickly as we possibly can to reduce those costs, if at all appropriate.
Mavis Bates would second that, I'm sure.
I think we'd all, we'll all second that. All right, no other discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Bates,
Bates, yes.
Berman,
Yes.
Ford, Fraz,
That's yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surges, Pepe,
Pepe, yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Shepro,
Agra financially, yes.
Pirog.
Yes.
Passes.
Mr. Tepe,
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. We have one resolution which is recognizing voter outreach partners for their continued support and participation. There are 41 partners that are recognized in this particular resolution, and I ask that it move forward. So I hereby move for this resolution.
Shepro, second.
Mr. Strathman, seconded.
Oh.
Mr. Very good. Any conversation on this? So we are recognizing them here at the board. Are we going to give any public recognition? Is a letter going to be sent out? Is there any other recognition besides just moving this to the full board?
I'm sure that there's a letter of recognition going out. I'll find out if Mr. Cunningham is doing any additional publicity to associate with this.
I think that would be appropriate. It's always nice to thank people who are helping us and do it so publicly. Never can thank people enough. Any other discussion on this? Clerk, please call the roll.
Bates, Berman,
Berman, yes.
Ford,
Ford, yes.
Fraz,
Raj, yes.
Gums, Kenyon,
Gums, yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surges, Pepe,
Pepe, yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Shepro,
Shepro, yes.
Pirog.
Yes.
Passes.
Mr. Frost.
Ross speaking. I have 4 items. I'll move all 4 and ask for a second.
Davis still second and has a question. Is this a record? Only 4? Your
I
time there?
think Mr. Berman set a record on one end and I'm setting a record on the other. Actually, one meeting I did finance and transportation. It was 45.
Ooh.
So I'm Davis seconds. So item number 1 is a routine approval of 3 new Adopt a Highway applicants. Item 2 approves a 3-year contract with H&H Electric out of Franklin Park in the amount of $5,131,287. This is for our countywide transportation system electrical facility maintenance, which is our streetlights and traffic signals. Item 3 approves a contract for construction with Geneva Construction out of Aurora in the amount of $24,326.
And this is for the Montgomery Road project where it's actually the Virgil Gilman Trail crossing of Montgomery Road. It's a safety improvement project. And finally, approving an appropriation of $670,500 and an IGA. This is with the city of Elgin. We're contributing 50% of the engineering costs and a portion of the construction costs. This is for the improvement of Alft Lane and Randall Road intersection. That's all I have. If there's any questions.
Yes. Just
Drew, on behalf of us at the north end, that Elf Lane at Randall Road is so greatly appreciated.
You're welcome.
what is going to happen there?
They've had some ongoing issues. Correct me if I'm wrong, it's a main exit from a shopping area, almost like a frontage road exiting onto Randall, and it's just never worked quite efficiently. So this will correct that.
Would be the main entrance for emergency vehicles coming from either direction.
Correct.
Isn't Fisher Nuts right at that one?
Yeah, Serge is here. The Elft Lane has become is intercollector street for the commercial subdivision west of Randall Road at the southwest corner of Randall and I-90. And as the larger box buildings have been encouraged to get onto Elft, that's great, but we need to get them onto Randall. So this just helped, right? Yeah, southeast. Did I?
Southeast. Southeast.
North.
Or Fisher Nuts, it's east.
But the development that's happened has actually been the southwest corner, that entire tract of land there.
We have transportation
So
here.
we really appreciate this.
Yeah, I just wanted to share, this is Tom Rickard from KDOT. This will essentially add capacity to the intersection of Alft and Randall. It will help the Elgin leg of the intersection, as well as it will send a third northbound lane up to the I-90 interchange. And so this will greatly enhance the ability for traffic to get in and out of that area, as well as up to I-90 with a third northbound lane. It's a temporary improvement until someday we can address the full interchange issues that are occurring there.
Okay, very good. That would make sense. Yes, sir.
In the history of Elgin, Elf Lane used to be Lover's Lane. I'd be happy we didn't have to make this stuff up.
Only you would know, Mr. Kenyon.
Can't make it up.
Memory lane.
You probably remember that.
I don't know what you're speaking.
Is that based on personal experience?
I was going to say, this is some high school
That's
sweethearts.
a good reason with this. That's before all the development.
Retainment and its.
Agri-Tainment, yes.
Ba, ba, boom. All right, we have a motion and a second, and I think we've had some delightful discussion. Clerk, please call the roll.
Transportation.
Bates,
Yes.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Ford, Bras,
Raj, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Sanchez, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surges, Pepe,
Deputy, yes.
Davis,
Just yes.
Shepro,
Jeffro, yes.
Huron.
Yes, yes. There is no need for executive session. We're on now to committee reports. Do we have any committee reports today?
Madam Chair,
Yes,
What-
sir.
on October 14th, which is our Jobs Committee at 10, following that, we'll have our second roundtable discussion. And in your attendance, you can learn about the RISE, which is the research from Illinois that's behind the Spur and Economic Recovery Local and Regional Planning Grant Program. And also we'll be sharing any highlights from the different villages and cities and so forth. And serving lunch, of course.
I'm sorry, didn't hear you.
Serving lunch, of course.
Well, serving lunch is always welcomed. Okay, very good. Thank you. They're very good meetings. Yes, Ms. Bates.
The Energy and Environmental Committee went on a field trip yesterday to a MRF municipal recycling center facility, and it was a blast. And I really felt honored to have the opportunity to go and see how they take the single stream recycling and use fans and magnets and robots to separate it out into valuable commodities that they can sell and put back into the production stream.
Oh, absolutely.
It's exciting.
Yes, sir. No, that was just a stretch. Just- Anybody else? Okay, done with that. I believe we're ready for the adjournment.
I'd like to move, we adjourn, and it's
wait.
almost record time, especially.
Let's make sure let's verbalize that correctly. We're not,
Till Friday the seventh.
we're
Yes,
adjourning
so
to
could
the
we have the
meeting of,
appropriate language? This
Oh,
meeting is going
Let
to
the
be.
lawyers take care of that.
Friday
at
3:00.
adjourning and continuing until the meeting at set for 3 o'clock this
So
coming
I would
Friday.
not adjourn. I would vote then to continue
Well, then
this meeting.
continue. We're continuing
This is
until,
maybe just a recess.
No,
Stand in
it's a con-
recess.
we're-
Stand in recess and continue
we are-
until.
Okay, all right, hold on, everybody, calm down so we can get the language appropriate. Thank you. So the motion is to recess this meeting for continuation on, what is the date?
Friday the seventh.
Friday the 7th, directly after the Special Finance Committee, which meets at 2:30.
At 3 o'clock or immediately following the finance committee meeting, whichever is later.
Perfect. Do you have that? Okay,
Yeah.
okay, can I have a second?
Second, Berman.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.